Good afternoon, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are back live. HireMilitary. This is Matt Quick, the Director of Training and Development for HireMilitary, joined today by Tullis Moore. He's a transitioning airman, Air Force, out of, where are you out of?
Phoenix, Arizona, Luke Air Force Base.
A dry heat out there, but heat nonetheless. So this is today will be a good conversation because Tullis isn't your typical transition veteran. He's only been in for about 4 years now, so it's not your typical retiree that's getting out every 25 and 30 years. So it's a different perspective, different conversation. His path was different than most, and I'm excited to have you today, Tullis. So, hey, tell us about your service. Tell us about why you came in and what's happened for you.
Well, like you said, I've been in for about 3.5 years. I'll pass the 3.5 year mark next month. I'd say my single biggest goal for joining was education. Like we discussed previously, I was going to college before the Air Force, and it's expensive. So I needed to kind of come up with a way to pay for that without going in debt, because I don't like being in debt. It's not a fun feeling. So
smart.
I took a semester off, kind of assessed my options. My brother was in the Marine Corps.
Semper Fi.
Yeah, for 6 years. So I talked to him a little bit about the military route, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a great idea. Just don't go Marines."
So I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. My dad was in the Marine Corps. My brother was in the Marine Corps. I followed them in the Marine Corps. I told my kids, join if you want a challenge. Go to the Marine Corps. If not, Air Force and the Army.
Yeah. So he said go Air Force, man. Go Air Force. So I ended up talking to a recruiter that was in my hometown for the Air Force, and we had some good conversations. And I did my research, and kind of found out that the military has a tuition assistance program. So I decided to enlist and pursue that option for kind of a way to serve my country, get some professional experience, and also get my school paid for.
Makes sense.
So that was my ultimate goal for joining, was education. And it's been great too, because I've had the opportunity to finish my education while I was finish my bachelor's last December.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And they also have other programs too. AF Cool will help you also pay for certifications. There are some limitations to what they'll pay for, kind of tied to your AFSC. But I hear they're pretty flexible. So you with education office, they can help you work with them to get your certifications covered. And
AFSC means your job, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Sorry. If I throw out any acronyms that people don't know or don't make sense, you can catch me.
It may happen.
Yeah, it does. We love our acronyms.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, it's that was my main goal, and thankfully I got it knocked out, and we're kind of in the flux right now of deciding what's the next step.
Okay, so you've been in almost 4 years now. You'll have 4 years when you get out. Why have you decided to leave service now, especially during a pandemic?
Well, if you'd asked me like last year or January or February, I would have told you like, I just got in to get my school done. I got that knocked out. I'm ready to get started on a different career.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of changed a little bit with the whole pandemic situation. The job market is challenging on a good day. It's rough in a pandemic environment.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm fully locked in on getting out yet. I'm definitely exploring a lot of options. One of the things that you can do in the military is apply to retrain to a different career field. So I have a few options there, trying to get approved for that.
Like pararescue?
I'm sorry?
Like pararescue?
No. No. I'm gonna try to get I'm going to try to go cyber
Oh,
in
nice.
the Air Force, since that falls kind of within the wheelhouse of my education. Um, but it, I haven't ruled out getting out yet if the right opportunity comes along, because I also plan on trying to go guard when I get out, because I want to continue to serve in some capacity. So I'll have that option there.
Well,
Um,
good. So before you go on, so hey, Tullis is undecided if he wants to get out or not. He's ready for an internship opportunity when?
I'll be eligible to start after the first week of July.
All right. So any company out there that's looking for an IT specialist, system administrator, a pre-cyber guy, if you will, Tullis is your man. Let's get on a HireMilitary site and look for him. So this is your opportunity as an employer to bring him out of the military and hopefully join your company. So, hey, this is your time right now. So, so if you did have an opportunity, would you stay in right now, or would you still consider an option to stay in for a couple more months?
Um, if I had the option to extend, would I stay in?
Yeah, just for a few months to until the pandemic's over and the job market is better.
Well, I do have the option to extend.
Good.
I could do a 1 year extension right now, and I certainly haven't ruled that out. If I get close enough to that date of separation and I really don't have a solid path forward, then I've already pretty much decided that I'll extend.
I tell you, the DoD, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, Navy, Army, I tell you, they did a great thing by allowing our service members the option to stay in for a few more months, a year, just to get past the pandemic, because they know how difficult life is going to be. It's already tough transitioning. And
Hmm.
throwing on a 30 plus million unemployment rate is just really out there. So Department of Defense did a great job and to allow this to happen. So for them, we're eternally grateful. So, so where are you looking to? So if you do decide to get out eventually, where are you looking to go and what are you looking to do?
Right now, I'm looking at the East Coast primarily. I'm originally from Atlanta. That's where I was born and raised.
Go
Uh,
Braves, right?
what was that?
Go Braves.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually not a big sports guy, so I mean, really go sports, I guess.
Go sport. Hey, this pandemic isn't affecting you at all, is it?
Yeah, it hasn't. It's funny how little my routine has changed. But yeah, I'm looking to go back to the East Coast. Um, I'd say the main area that I'm looking at is the greater Washington D.C. Baltimore area. Um, I'd like to get started there somewhere. Hopefully, working towards getting proficient in the cyber field. There are a lot of jobs in that area, that require a clearance, and potentially, have the ability to upgrade my clearance at some point.
So there's definitely plenty of jobs in the DC area, especially for cyber, and the Army's cyber unit is now moving from DC area to Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, around
Mhm.
where the Masters play. And so the whole East Coast is flooded with opportunities. So shouldn't have too much of a tough time.
Ideally, yeah, yeah. I'd like to. My main goal is just find a job that I can leverage my credentials also with my like education.
No, that makes sense too. So what has there been any kind of barriers that have that you've run into with transitioning?
Um, I mean, honestly, the biggest barrier to transitioning right now is just the pandemic. I
Pretty
I
big
can't really,
barrier.
yeah, it's quite the barrier. I can't really speak to how transitioning was, a few years ago, but I've heard from people that um, it didn't used to always be that helpful. Um, but in my experience, they really do a lot. They do a lot for us now, and as far as the transition goes, there's a lot of workshops. The DoD TAP program,
Hmm.
and I'll go tell people, take advantage of all those classes they offer you. Some of them are going to sound like, oh, I don't need that, but like honestly, it's useful, because I mean, I came in there with, you know, my bachelor's degree already done. I already had a resume made up, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to learn that much of this stuff. But but ended up learning that my resume wasn't really that good, and I didn't know as much as I thought.
These
So
experts are killing me, huh?
yeah, so they offer a lot of good stuff to help. I will say the one thing that they need to stop telling people is just because you're a veteran, like places want to hire you, no one's going to be lining up to hire you. No one is. That's on you.
Now, hey, for those watching, Tullis has been in for 3.5, 4 years now, and he already knows that they're not hiring. They're not lining up to hire you as a veteran. They're going to hire you to do a job. So, if Tullis knows this, if you're a retiring person or have 15 plus years, just understand that employers aren't going to hire you to be a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hire you to do a job. The plus for them is you're a veteran. So go with your skills, go with your qualities, and you'll be hired. That's one of the most crucial points that we're not seeing. Well, we are seeing it a lot right now, Tullis. So thanks for bringing that up too. Thank you.
Yeah, and like you said, go with your skills. Like, really figure out what you know and what you're good at, and market yourself based on that. Because it's like you said, they're going to hire somebody to do the job, so they want to see those skills exercised, and a lot of places are going to require demonstration of those skills. So
they will, yes.
Just slapping, veterans preference 10-point on there, like maybe that'll help, but you got to have something to back that up.
You're right. So some experience, some certifications, some education, something to back it up. So you mentioned you already have your bachelor's degree, which is a plus, no matter what. What kind of certifications have you gotten, have you earned so far that could help you out in your civilian employment?
Well, I finished my Security Plus last year, right before my bachelor's, and then just a few months ago, I finished my CYSA Plus.
Okay.
And I am hopefully going to be testing for my CSP Plus in the next 2 or 3 weeks, kind of depending on how I feel.
And yours were paid for by the Air Force Cool program, correct?
They are not, actually, not those.
Okay.
So, like I said, your funding is tied to your job code. Mm-hmm. So you have to, when you go into AF Cool to like search what you're qualified to get paid for, you have to put in your job code. And for me, being coded to aircraft maintenance, I'm really only I could get my GROL paid for or my AMP, but they won't pay for really any of the IT certifications. So I've had to cover those out of pocket. It hasn't been anything crazy. And the money I've saved from getting the school paid for has really helped with that.
And you're investing in yourself, which is good. You're setting us up for success. So have you already gone through the Onward Opportunity program?
I have not. I've heard about it. Is that the one through Syracuse?
Yes, Syracuse. So O2O Onward Opportunity. They offer all sorts of certification opportunities. You go through their 3-month program. They're 2 or 3 day course, 3-month program, and they'll pay for a certification for you. They have a bunch of cyber, IT, PMP, HR. They have Agile. The stuff that really that employers are looking for, you may consider Agile certification. Just go to the site, register. Our Opportunity is a great resource. I went through it myself. I did not test out because I was one of those people that got too busy, but I will still be a proponent because it's a great program. So Onward Opportunity, check it out, all right?
Definitely will, yeah.
So it looks like you have a couple questions here, or maybe you have a fan club. Hey, so let me ask you a question. So you're not a 30-year or 25-year or 20-year veteran retiring. You're a younger service member that's getting out. What made you come to LinkedIn so early on?
I would say probably my uncle. Honestly, he's been a big mentor for me, like my whole life, really. So he was one who got me started on LinkedIn years ago, back before the Air Force. And my LinkedIn account was horrible. I had no idea what I was doing. And that comes back to the DoD TAP program. They offer like a whole kind of class on building your LinkedIn account, which was super helpful.
Oh, good.
So he was always pushing, like, it's not always about what you know, it's who you know. So he was always pushing, like, build a network, have those people that you can kind of tap for opportunities later in life. So I've always been really big about building that personal network, and now leveraging LinkedIn, especially getting closer to potentially transitioning out.
Absolutely. And Tullis is on LinkedIn. So if you want to search for him, Tullis Moore, and connect with him. Just if you're an employer, if you're a recruiter, if you're an IT cyber professional, connect with him and just get to know each other, and you'll build a network from there. So I'm scrolling through this right here, looking through some questions. You have a small fan club building. So if you want to get back on HireMilitary and check out the comments later on, please do so. Now, today I'm on a timeline, not me personally, but Tullis. He's got to go to work. So he gave me 30 minutes today. So I'm trying to rush through this. No, so this is good.
It's a flexible timeline.
Okay, all right, that's good. So what has been one of the, I guess, a good thing about your transition? What programs have you used that you would recommend to others?
Like, besides the ones that are offered by the military specifically?
Oh, anything, because right now people could be tuning in for the first time, so they're going to hear Tullis Moore, a separating veteran of 3 to 4 years. What would that population use to on their way out?
I mean, I would say use the resume building class that they offer. I know in the Air Force, it's the Airman Family Readiness Center. I don't know about other branches, but I'm sure there's an equivalent out there. Just kind of have to look for it. But most branches will offer a resume building class. Absolutely get on that. My resume was horrible, and I thought it looked great before.
We all do.
Yeah. I was really disappointed. Take a resume building class. Potentially even, if the resume building class doesn't suit your taste, then maybe try to pay someone to go through it with you.
Whoa. Hey,
yeah,
there are so many people out there. And so for resumes, you can reach out to Hire Heroes USA. You can reach out to mentors. You can reach out to professionals in the industry you want to go to for an example of a resume, and just tailor it to what fits you. Paying for resume writing service is great. I hear good things about it sometimes, but sometimes you hear things like, well, we can't guarantee you a job, because they really can't.
Sure.
They just move your resume over. And real fast, Drew is on a LinkedIn feed. He's saying, tell us, seriously, weigh your reenlistment options. So
yes.
So hey, they're out there, and they're concerned for you and thousands of others. But there's other like USO Pathfinder. They do great work with resumes for transitioning folks. American Corporate Partners, ACP, they provide mentors for you, which could help you in the resume writing process. There's just so many tools out there that we'll add to the LinkedIn feed soon. Some links so you can see it on there. But there's a huge population of veterans that are out here right now helping out. HireMilitary, there's just so many people. So before you pay for anything, just check out the free resources first. And if they don't pan out,
you named a bunch that I had never even heard of before. So I mean,
so you learned something today. That's good.
Absolutely, yeah. The lesson to be learned is there's a ton of resources out there for us. Just got to take advantage of them.
And there are so many resources. It can be overwhelming. And listen, I went through transition 18 months ago, and I was overwhelmed. And I spent 25 years in service, and it overwhelmed me. I can only imagine what others go through today. So it's definitely it could be a full-time job transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm looking through the feed here. Nothing's coming through. Hey, what else do you want to talk about today? Because this is your time to shine. What would you tell an employer that's going to maybe hire you one day? Well, what kind of value do you bring an employer?
Well, I'd say that in terms of soft skills, the benefit of going to the military is really has really given me, you know, some great teamwork skills. Definitely learned some perseverance. There's definitely some things you gotta work through in the military. You know, there's interpersonal skills, um, and really, me personally, I have a thirst to learn. Like I love learning. I'm always like watching like a YouTube tutorial on something, or I'm on Code Academy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always love picking up new skills. Because you know, I think it's fun, and you know, you never know when it's going to be helpful one day. So you know, I really believe there's not a whole lot out there that I couldn't eventually learn. So I always keep my mind open. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get into, you know, the next step in my career, whether that's retraining in the Air Force or doing something in the civilian world. Definitely ready to dive into something different.
And it's never easy to talk about yourself, but it's part of the process. So that's why we have these conversations on LinkedIn Live. Just have a casual conversation between two veterans. Just really talk about what's best for them, some sharing some tips and some experiences, and maybe get some exposure to an employer out there that wants to see you. But again, Tullis it may be separating in a few months. He's definitely weighing his options right now. So if you're an employer looking for an IT or a system administrator type person to join your network, an Air Force veteran, Tullis is available, especially in the DC area, but anywhere on the East Coast, maybe not in New York, maybe, I'm not sure. Hey, he'll go where the opportunity lands. He's open to it. That's a good deal. So we're running up on 25 minutes now. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't want you getting in trouble if you're late for work today, and you can't tell him I said it, right? Hey, so we're on here every day at 2:00 thereabouts, unless we have some technical difficulties. It might be 2:05, but we'll be on tomorrow with a military spouse. Hopefully, if one joins us, I'm still looking for a volunteer. Thursday, we're on with Chris Thorne. He's on with CrowdStrike. Friday, another veteran. This whole week, jam-packed with what we're doing here. So Tullis, thank you for joining us today. I really hope we hear about your transition journey going forward. Whether you stay in or you get out, we still want to hear about it. So we look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn, your engagements, and hopefully you post about something these days that we can all like, share, and comment on.
Hopefully, yeah. Thanks for having me, sir.
Hey, good deal. So, hey, we'll see you all soon, and best luck to you, Tullis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.